So Amir, thanks so much for making some
Sure.
time to get together and climb into the BuzzBubble with me and allowing us to do this on hallowed ground here with Bill looking
Yeah.
over in his last office, you said, was right here?
Yes.
That's amazing. So jumping forward to, let's jump right into Lemon 2020, you know, and your creative vision for DDB now that you've kind of charged yourself with taking the whole global agency to this Lemon 2020 vision.
Yeah, I think the Lemon 2020 is not about coming up with a completely new vision. It's about reminding ourselves and looking back to the foundation of this company, which is actually very simple and which I believe it will never change, despite of the change of the technology.
Okay.
And I'm keeping reminding our people that we've never been in the advertising business, and we are not in the advertising business. And if anybody in this business is still misunderstanding and confusing that we are in the advertising business, they have a big problem. I believe, and that was the foundation of DDB, or the whole creative revolution, that we are in the business of creating relevance. That's our job. How you do it, the tools are different. The tools are, you have a variety of tools. One of the tools could be advertising.
Right, one of
but that's only
the
one.
toolkit.
So, and just reminding our people to stick back to the core strength of the company, which is around creating relevance, but using technology and the upcoming digital revolution as a tool to make it happen and to add value to the business of our client. That's I would say that's the content of the strategy. And my job is to define it, to set the bar, to build an infrastructure and build the tools to help them unleash it. So that's what we are trying to do.
And what made you look back to Lemon as a particular embodiment of this?
Yeah, as I said, I think that was the foundation of what we still believe is creative or innovative advertising or marketing. The way that they looked at people, the way that they treated people not as customers but as friends, as
Right.
human beings. And the purpose that what we are creating should have a positive effect on the society, culture, but also on a bigger scale on the society. So that's the reason I'm saying. And Lemon, still, I still would love to see a brand call his own product Lemon today. That's so bold, still 70 years after it happened. So, and I think it's easier for us at DDB to stick to this DNA because we
Right.
have the DNA.
Right, part of the
A
creative
lot of the other
revolution.
agencies, almost all of them, they don't have this kind of identity. So it helps a lot. It's not about, again, and it's a lot of people are confusing it if I'm telling it. It's not about looking backwards. It's about looking at the foundation of the company and transform it into the new age
Right.
by knowing what your strengths are and avoiding a lot of things that we should not do and just focusing on the right things. So that's what
Yeah.
we are trying to do.
And Lemon just embodies that simplicity, number one, and the courage to go 180 degrees. You know, I
Exactly.
see the best advertiser, the best relevance creation in go 180 degrees from
Yeah.
what people expect, and that was just such a great ad. Now, what are the challenges that go along with this on a global assignment? You know, is there even an awareness of the DNA and that origin for DDB around the rest of the
That's
globe?
what I did in the first year as I took over from Bob Scarpelli, defining this vision and strategy, and I was visiting every office at DDB. I was already in every office twice,
Wow.
so that's the reason I'm looking like this. So I used to be a good-looking young guy, like 2 years ago.
Travel
No,
keeps
I
you well.
don't believe that you can just define something and you're sending emails around and,
Right.
and you expect people to do it. You have to be there. You have to discuss with them. You have to get the feedback. And it's not about me telling people by setting up an instruction how they should do it. It's about only just defining the picture frame. But what you are painting inside of it, that should be upon the people who are responsible for the day-to-day business. And that's the great thing also about DDB, which is a little bit different. We are a network, but we are not a very centralistic network. We are a very federal network
Okay.
because we believe in the freedom. So everybody, as long as they are sticking to the values of DDB and to the common vision of DDB, they are trying to build their business around what they believe is right.
Right.
So, and we are not pushing them towards one common way of doing it. So, and I think everybody is aware of where we want to go. And there are offices, I would say, who are far ahead, and there are offices who are still doing the first steps. But that's normal because it depends on the development of the markets, the cultural background, and so on and so on.
And I believe, and I think you do as well, that the agency culture, the people and how they socialize and react to each other in the office is a reflection of how the work will come out. And
exactly.
How do you have town halls here? And I understand that the challenges of, even if you were able to get everybody into a big room and have a town hall here and do that periodically, what's that process look like around the globe? Is that, I guess, what you were doing, is stopping in and saying, hi, I'm here? Or was it more?
I was flying to every office. I was there for 1 or 2 days, coming together with all the employees, sharing my vision and just telling them, okay, that's what I believe is right, and I don't know if it's right. So let's discuss about it. And the feedback was almost everybody said the general vision and the direction is right, but you have to adapt it to the changes and to the specifics of the markets and the offices. So that's how we are doing it. No, but it's good. Again, defining a vision is one thing, living it every day and just making it happen is the other thing.
Right.
But I think we are making steps towards that. So if you look at the status quo of the creative product and what we are producing, I would say in terms of delivering a state-of-the-art creative product, we are among the agencies, the few agencies who understand the role of digital, not as a media, but as an infrastructure. And we managed to really reintegrate tribal and tribal DDB into almost every office, which was a big step forward. So that's what we are trying to do. But we are not there. So I would not say we are already there, because the moment that we would be there, you don't need me anymore. No, I would do something else. So.
Right. So let's talk about DDB Tribal, and it's curious to me that why that has, many other agencies haven't really branded their digital as its own entity. Why that step, and what does it afford? What benefits does it afford? And by the way, voted Webby's Agency of the Year last year.
No, I think the last 2 or 3 years. If you look at the history, I think we were one of the first agencies who realized with the coming up of the internet that we have to adapt to the technology. And back then it was a very, very difficult thing to do it out of the agency. So we decided to build the Tribal DDB network as a state-of-the-art, pure digital player in the field. And we built that, and we built a great network around it. And then as the world is changing and the technology changed, we decided, okay, it's DDB who has to deliver a state-of-the-art product. Right. So what we did is reintegrating all the tribal knowledge and the people back into the DDB offices. There are still tribal offices, and we renamed that to tribal because we got rid of the DDB name, because DDB should be a state-of-the-art agency. So we have tribal offices, but they are more in the field of back-end technology, very, very specific fields of knowledge, which you don't really need in a communication company like DDB, but stay still tribal, and we still cooperate with them. But at the end of the day, the expectation is that every DDB agency is a state-of-the-art company, and they should deliver a completely digitally truthful product. So if they cannot deliver it, they are not a DDB office.
Is it safe to say, and nobody uses these terms that I know of, is that we're in the digital revolution? And, and that, to say that, I'm not sure, actually, I wasn't even around, but that during the creative revolution, everybody wasn't saying, we're in a creative revolution, history shows, and then the name is given. Do you think we're there, and do you think 10 years from now they're going to say, boy, that, the early 20 odds, or however you express where we're 20 teens, was the digital revolution?
Yeah, and I think there's still a huge misunderstanding of what the people are expecting from digital, and I'm always seeing and experiencing that almost 99% of all the people in the marketing and advertising field are still confusing digital as a media, which is not the case to me. I think we will enter a world where everything will be connected. That will be the next stage of the World Wide Web, and it will change everything, because you will have people who knows everything in real time,
right?
And they have access to almost every source by themselves. So it will change the character and the concept of marketing in a complete different way. And as you said, I don't believe it's a revolution. It will be a revolution maybe looking back in 100 years afterwards, but it will change the way that we are approaching things, the way that brands should behave, and we should understand it, and we should create our processes and the structures in that way. But a lot of people are still confusing Facebook with a new TV channel, and as long as that's happening, you will see a lot of things going on which are not right.
So can we dig a little deeper on that? Because I in trying to help people understand the opportunity in a Facebook, try and assimilate that to media, because it's attention, it's reach, and it's...
But it's funny, because if you even, I'm sitting at the Global Creative Council of Facebook, so we are meeting on a regular basis 4 times a year. Even Facebook themselves, they are defining themselves as a media platform, which is crazy. And I have big arguments with these guys to explain to them, no, wait a moment, you're not. But again...
How do you dispel that? Because again, I try and assimilate, because I try to explain to people. It's reach, it's frequency, it's their attention. You know, you're stealing attention from TV, and we're using some interruption advertising in that process. So, you know, what's the 2-minute version of that boardroom argument?
No, again, it's about how you're defining your business. If your business is about selling ads and making advertising, then you are a media platform.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not, and I was never, and we will never ever be in the advertising business. My fucking job every fucking day is to add value to the business of my client by understanding the technology and using all the tools that I have to create relevance. That's my job. I can do it with advertising.
I couldn't agree more.
There are categories where advertising would be the best idea to do that. But if you look at almost 90% of the market, 90% of all the products and services, more and more you're coming to a point where you say there's a marketing challenge and I cannot solve it with the usual way of creating advertising. So you have to look at it in a more holistic way. And that's what we are trying to do. So, and I think digital will help a lot, because that's the biggest and the most powerful tool that we have in comparison to 20 years ago. But again, it's the actual sense or the essence of the business will never change. And I'm not a guy who I would say is an old traditional way. I was coding at the age of 15 on an Atari computer. So I was growing up with all the different devices and gadgets. I would not say I'm a nerd, but I understand it. I have the openness to it. But again, look at it as a tool. Don't confuse it with what we should do every day.
Right.
And I think that is one of the responsibilities that we advertising people have, to educate our clients, to understand that they should use it as a tool to be more effective and more successful, but not confusing it with the stuff that they did in the past. So, and that is what I'm experiencing all the time.
And it's a tool in a bigger box. That it's in a bigger mix of tools.
And the crazy thing is, if you're sitting in a boardroom and talking like that, you don't have a lot of friends. Because usually the bullshit bingo divisions, they are talking about content marketing, big data, and all the stuff that is going on.
Throwing out the words that everybody's...
Exactly. And if you are very honest about it, you are not making a lot of friends, which is good, because my job is not about my job is not about showing off. My job is adding value to the business of my client. That's the reason I'm sitting here. Right. And if I cannot do it, I'm wrong here, right?
So while we're being subversive, let's have a conversation about something that I've hesitated to talk about openly. Is TV. TV's still great, and it does what it does, and it's a tool. I feel a lot of agencies are not taking advantage of truly new media, like pre-roll video and behavioral display, and the things that afford new opportunities at a much lower cost to our client partners. Because it's easy to book $5 million of TV and take your percentage and buy 10 channels at this time. You could do a TV plan in an afternoon. To do what we really need to be doing for our clients takes every day, every week, and ongoing. It's not over. You do it, you measure, you change it. It's difficult.
But it's completely right, because the problem is, or the old logic is still around awareness. If you're thinking in the dimensions of awareness, that's exactly what you're doing. If you're thinking in the dimension of relevance, TV is maybe in 1% of the cases the right thing. But again, almost nobody, and it's a bad thing in our industry, is understanding the importance of relevance. And with relevance, it's a trend word already because of the whole data discussion. But I'm not defining it only as a rational argument. I'm talking about thinking about relevance in an emotional way. Because it's about something that the people care in their life because it's really essential to them and it can move them emotionally.
Right.
And we are not there. And as long as we are not thinking about it that way, the awareness model will always be there, led by a lot of media agencies. And I think what we lost as creative agencies, and what we lost as creative agencies, we gave them the control and the power to really consult our clients in terms of what is the right approach. And I think we have to get it back in a way, or at least we should collaborate much more deeper than we did in the last 20 years. So,
well, contrary to what we just said, but not contrary, you guys cleaned up at Cannes last year, and
no, we're coming there.
Yeah, 93 Lions, I think, is cleaning up. But you know, let's go to TV though. It has its place, and you guys have created some great TV spots, and it's comedic, VW work, touching. You know, the staying up spot for McDonald's. Maybe talk about the approach for you know, relevance as in the context of TV spots and comedy versus you know, touching and tugging in the heartstrings.
And again, I think at the end of the day or at the beginning of the process, the approach or how we are defining creativity is to come up with the most innovative solution for a client's problem. And we try to find at least a human insight all the time. It's about being relevant.
Yeah. And
if you tell a story around that, it should be relevant to the people. So that's the whole foundation of Volkswagen. It's about being human, being authentic, and touching
very
people.
Human spot.
And that's still the formula for Volkswagen advertising. Not only in the old traditional way, but if you look at the digital field where we are doing or developing apps, it's still there. A mobile app for Volkswagen has the same ingredients like you see in the TV ads that we've done in the last 30 years. So it will not change, but I think TV is still a powerful way of communicating. And what my worry is that a lot of people, because of the whole bullshit bingo and trends which are going, are losing the focus. And if you want to do TV or film, you should do it in an amazing way, and you should look at it as a piece of art of salesmanship, and do whatever you can do to perfect it. And it loses a little bit, not only in our agency but in our industry.
Right.
Because if you would say where the most innovative ideas are coming up, it's more in the digital field, the mobile field, or innovation field, but not in the traditional advertising.
Yeah.
We used to do the first interactive ad which won the Grand Prix in Cannes in the film category 5 years ago for Philips. I don't know if you remember.
Which one was that?
That was the Clown. That was a platform for the lighting system of Philips.
Okay.
Where we did an interactive film, and it was a huge discussion back then in the film category in Cannes if it should be a film and be judged as a film, because it was interactive, the whole user interaction and all that stuff.
The borders are being blurred in categories like
that. Yeah, exactly. So no, but I think we can focus more on the craftsmanship part of it, without losing again the essence of what we should do every day.
You said something really intriguing about, you know, story is always important and being able to make that emotional attachment, but you put it in the context of an app you developed for Volkswagen. That's a challenge. How do you you think of utility, you think of entertainment, and you think of an app and integrating into one's life, but story and emotional, that's tough.
No, the question is how you're defining a story. To me, story is not a story that you're telling. The story is it something substantial that adds value to the life of the people?
Right.
And they tell the story by themselves. So as I've said, creating relevance means you can start with product development at the one side of it, and you can end with traditional advertising at the other side of it. The problem is, at the moment, 99% of all the agencies are still there.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that we will know more about car industry than Volkswagen. We will never do. But we know more about human insights, and we know more about how we can create relevance in existing products or changing services in a way that they are making sense to the life of the people. And we should focus more on that, because then we are elevating up our role to a position where you are true consultant to a client and not only an execution part delivering advertising.
Right.
And I'm not saying delivering advertising is a wrong thing. I love doing it. I'm doing it more than 30 years. But again, I think we should redefine and use our creativity in a different way, because we can add even more value to the business of our clients if we would do that.
So the changing agency model, what do you think, if you had to say the number one challenge of this changing agency model is, either as it applies to in the context of the agency itself or the client-agency relationship?
No, I think the biggest challenge is, and everybody's trying to find a way around that, is how you're defining your actual business model. And as I said, if you still believe that you are in an advertising industry, you will do advertising in a more traditional way as a creative agency, or a more upcoming way as a digital or mobile agency. If you are in the business of creating relevance, then you have to change the whole structure of an agency, which we are trying to do.
Right.
Because, for example, if you look at data, and the next big bullshit bingo ad word that is going on, data will impact the way that you are developing and creating relevance in an amazing way. At the moment, nobody is really understanding how you should connect the dots between the different types of data, not even the Googles and the Facebooks of the world. So I think one of the big challenges is to redefine strategic planning in an advertising agency, using data, connecting the dots, generating insights, and being around real-time marketing. And I think that is one of the biggest changes that will happen if you want to be a company around relevance and being state of the art. And I think a creative department will change as the next one, because the role of a creative is not around doing the execution only. It's about being a strategist at the same time, extracting the insights, the whys out of the what, the how, the when, and the where, and then coming up with a genuine solution for how you are really adding this value to the life of the people. So that's what I believe it will change.
So big data is allowing us to target our advertising, right? So how long do you think it'll take for human psyche will deal with getting an ad that's really relevant to them? Because now they think of it as creepy. Like, oh, how do they know I have a Volkswagen? Or how do they know, how long till we get to the Minority Report style of, Tom Cruise going through the airport and like, oh, Mr. Johnson, your eyes look watery. You need some Visine.
Yeah.
Well, how long till they accept it? I think, I see it happening.
No, I think at the moment the challenge is nobody really can deliver that, because they are not connecting the dots.
Yeah.
If you talk about big data, the big data is about 3 V's. It's about velocity, it's about volume, and it's about variety. Nobody, even the big experts in Silicon Valley, who are like the geniuses about data, are talking about value. The data that you have doesn't have value because the people are not really bringing together the different dots and then thinking about what does it exactly mean, what should I generate as an insight to really be part of the life of the people, that the people say, oh, wait a moment, that's amazing that they know a lot about me, but what they are delivering is amazing because it helps make my life simpler, easier, or more efficient.
Right.
And as long as we are not there, it will not happen. But I think it will take another 10 to 15 years, and it will not only happen out of the algorithm corner. I don't believe that magic is a product of algorithm. I believe it's a combination of technology, humanity, and creativity. And if you combine that, and you can combine it, then you are producing something where the people would say, yes, that's exactly what I want.
So did you just coin the 3 V's of big data? Velocity, volume, and value? I like that.
No, but that's, if you look at the people who are talking about big data, it's only about that. Nobody, and I'm a lot in Silicon Valley, at the Googles and the Facebooks and the Yahoos, nobody is talking about value. The problem is, maybe they are not talking about it because we cannot generate value out of it.
Or express it to our clients.
Exactly.
What's my ROI?
Yeah, but I think it will take another 10 years, because I believe we will enter the next stage of the digitalization, which is everything in the world will be connected, and at that time you will have the filters and you will have, I think, the knowledge of how you can bring these dots together. I think nobody at the moment can do it. Or the other problem is you don't have all these different types of data. Maybe Salesforce a little bit, but not even Salesforce has everything. So the companies could have it, could own it, but I think no company at the moment has an infrastructure like that to really handle this kind of data and connecting it in the right way.
And then use it
But then use it in a way.
Use it to deliver
exactly.
value.
But you use it in a way where you say, "Oh, wait a moment, that makes sense. Actually, thank you very much that you have been thinking about it, and I don't have to think about it." And not, "Oh, you have been searching for fashion. Now we will deliver you nonsense ads about fashion brands." So that's not the game. At the moment, what we are doing, which I think it's like the first step in our business, is we are optimizing the media impressions using data, which is kind of a kindergarten game. But I think the next level or the next 3 levels will be very, very interesting.
And it's not going to happen. It's going to be very organic and incremental,
Exactly.
right? You know, things like, if I'm already a Verizon customer, don't show me a convert to Verizon.
Yeah.
Show me here's other products and here's other
Or
services.
AT&T. I'm an AT&T client. Very funny. And I'm an Apple guy since I can remember. I had my first Mac in 1984.
Wow.
And they know.
Was it the commercial that did it?
Yeah.
1984?
And I was buying stocks on Apple in 1997. 3 weeks before Steve Jobs joined the company.
Wow.
6 weeks before they were almost officially bankrupt, at a stock price of $7. And I still have them. And I was not buying them because of an investment. I was buying them because of the love of the company.
Because you wanted to be part of it.
So the funny thing is, AT&T, I have a contract with them, and they know that I'm an Apple guy because I'm always having iPhones. I'm getting emails from them. "Do you want to have the new Galaxy S4 from Samsung?" Where I say, "Guys,
come on,
you should know that I would die before I would use a Samsung device." So that's what I'm talking about.
Wasted advertising.
And I think that's something where we can educate our clients more and more, use the data in the right way, connect the dots, generate an insight, and add real value to the life of the people.
Absolutely.
That's what I believe would be the next step. And he would be still successful in our business. I think he would be still among one of the thought leaders in our industry, because again, the purpose and the whole thinking didn't change. He would use technology.
Right.
But still he will try to create relevance around it.
Just another tool.
Exactly. And if you look at all his quotes and stuff, they are even more valid today than they used to be back in the 60s. We have this, I don't know if you ever saw it, this book. Christy, you have it, right? The Bill Bernbach said book. You should look at it. It's amazing. If you look at the quotes, it's more relevant today than it was in the 60s.
How do you get it? Is it a book you can get?
Yeah, we have one.
Yeah, but I'll give you.
Yeah.
You can't just
you can buy it on Amazon, I think.
Oh, you can?
But we have one, right? You should give it to
I would take a look.
Yeah. It's great. It's great.
So while we're on Bill, so what is this behind us here? What is this letter to the agency that was significant enough to...
It's not the original handwritten note, but I think it's a copy of it. It's a handwritten note to the creative department about how they should approach the process of creativity and what they should think about every day. And again, it reminds you, sitting here is a special thing because it reminds you every day coming here into this office that you have a special responsibility because you are DDB, because it was him. So we have to do more, and we have to be more passionate, and we have to fight more because we are DDB. That's how I'm seeing it. Yeah.
That was one of my questions, and I'm fine that we jumped ahead. That is, being here, and having the father of the creative revolution, is it pressure, is it inspiration, is it responsibility, is it all the above?
No, I think the first thing is responsibility, because you have an amazing foundation, and you have a great brand and a great culture, which is different. Yeah. And you have to take care of it. It's also inspiration because it helps you a lot, because you can stick to something. It helps you in the day-to-day business.
Right.
But it's a special responsibility, definitely. We have to be at the forefront of the industry with everything that we are doing. And if we are not there, we are not DDB. That's the problem. Right. And I'm not talking about this huge, another bullshit bingo definition. It's not about being the most awarded agency in terms of the amount of the awards. I'm talking about being the most innovative agency. I'm fine doing better and better every year in Cannes, as long as the quality of the work is getting better. And as we are producing highlights where you say, wait a moment, that are people who are developing a state-of-the-art product. So that's my goal. But it's a big responsibility. Yeah. And it's not only in terms of him. If you look at my the people who did the job before, Keith Reinhardt, legend, Bob Scarpelli, a legend, and now I'm doing it, so it's tough.
It's a big responsibility.
Yeah, big shadows. Yeah.
What about the finding the people that, you know, you're a big agency, gigantic agency, you got to find people that get it and, you know, have that same respect and understanding. How do you take that challenge of finding the right people?
It's still the same because he was developing it very, very clear. What is the bar to hire people? And he said the people should be talented at the one side, but they should be nice at the other side. So if you have only talented people who are not nice, they are not fitting to DDB, and the other way around too. So that's what we are trying to do, and we try to hire not only people with advertising background. That's what he started. He was not looking for advertising creatives. He was looking for open-minded people, and his job, as he defined it, was to educate people and to transform people into amazing advertising creatives. And that's how we are recruiting and how we are educating and how we are hiring people. So that's how we are looking at it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit of branded content. I want to talk about branded content and what makes a good branded content campaign, and really, what is it even? We're all talking about, amongst the many buzzwords, you know, branded content is how to create that relevance. Your take on what makes a really good branded content campaign, and what are some of the elements?
Good question. Again, content is another word.
Yeah.
I think so. Data, content, storytelling, the usual bullshit bingo words.
Bingo.
No, again, at the end of the day, I'm not looking at it and I'm not differentiating it. What we should do is creating relevance, as I said. And in a lot of cases, your advertising should not look like advertising.
Yeah.
And that's where brand and product placement or brand and entertainment in a general sense is coming to the game. We try to do it, again, in a way that is innovative, that is engaging, and it's not reminds you as advertising, but it differs from category to category, it differs from product to product or from brand to brand. I would not say it's a formula how you should do it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we talk about brand building, and I know clients can get frustrated with, what did that do? Well, that's building your brand, or how do I quantify that? But aren't we in the business of relevance, but we're creating a relationship, right, with the consumer. You know, you never went on the first date and got married on the second date. It's a slow process.
Yeah.
And how do you know, it's hard to help the client understand that we're creating a relationship with their customers.
Yeah, I think about reminding our client, that's what I said, educating our client and reminding them that the purpose of every business in the world is creating customers.
Right.
If you would define business, creating business means creating a customer. That means that you have to invest in it, as you said, into the relationship. That's the reason I said we should stop looking at people as customers or target groups, and we should start looking at them as friends. If you want me, if I want you to be my best friend, the first thing that I'm doing is not selling you something, right? I try to do a favor.
That's the quickest way to get me to turn the other way at a cocktail party.
So I try. So
you need some insurance.
Yeah, and that's the way we should, I think, change the perception of our clients looking at normal people outside.
Yeah.
And the moment that you are doing that, you start to do a lot of things in a different way. But it's a tough game. It's a long journey because it used to work the other way around the last 50 years. So it's difficult to just change everything overnight. It will take time. But there are brands who are doing it already, I believe. But there are few of them.
Right. Well, great. Let's talk a little bit about you and learn a little bit about you. I'd love to find out more about you. So let's go back to the beginning. And what was your first break in the biz? And do you remember your first ad or your first campaign?
I was a client.
Ah.
I started as a marketing guy at L'Oreal. That's the reason I have this beautiful hair.
Yeah, the products that really
exactly.
worked.
But then I changed the side and I went to advertising, and I was a controller.
Ah.
Then I was a strategic planner. I was an account guy, a media planner, and then I decided to be a creative, which is an interesting way. But it helps a lot because doing the job that I'm doing at the moment, understanding the whole perspective of the business, makes your life easier. So that was my first thing. But my first ad that I did, it was a big media campaign in Germany. We have in Germany there's a trade magazine called kind of like Forbes, called the Manager magazine.
Okay.
That was one of the first things that I did. It was a print. It's for the print campain.
Okay.
Back at the beginning of the 90s. Yeah.
Ah, that's a while ago.
Yeah.
Who was
I'm
instrumental?
an old guy.
You don't have any gray hair.
Yeah, I'm getting
okay.
some. You don't see it at the moment, yeah.
Who would you say was instrumental in your career and in life, and how?
I think Bernbach. I think one of the first things that if you are in advertising and you're thinking about who sets the bar, I think he was the guy who was inspiring almost all the different legends. If you talk to Haggerty, or if you talk to all the big legends, they are there. Goodby, Lee Clark, all of them are saying one of the reasons, or the main reason, that they joined advertising was because of him. So he was always like a mentor, a role model. And then the people I used to work with right. my creative directors back in Germany, and since 10 years, the people at DDB. Because I joined DDB 10 years ago, and I started to do the German operations. And being in this culture, being in this company was a great inspiration and a learning tool.
If you weren't an ad guy, what do you think you'd do? If you couldn't be an ad guy, and I know it's hard, we love what we do.
Yeah, it's a very good question, because it was an accident. It was not a plan to go into advertising. I don't know. I could do everything. I think as long as you're passionate about something,
yeah,
and as long as you love it, you could have a good life. And I'm not defining it in terms of money or right. being successful. I'm talking about being happy. So I could imagine. I don't see myself being a controller. Mm-hmm. I like it. I still correcting the numbers of our guys, and they are scared of it because I'm a creative. But I don't see myself working in a bank or something like that. Maybe investment banking.
It seems isolated, you know. And I
exactly.
think
maybe investment banking it would be interesting, but for a couple of years, and I could do everything. There are some areas of businesses where I'm interested in. And I think if you have enough passion about it, and if you would love it, I would do it.
I mean, I think that's why we love advertising, because you're helping someone run their business, you know. And by the client, you know, while you jump from the client side, you worked on one thing all the time. Now we get to jump around and help people run their business.
I'm still saying to young people, because a lot of people are complaining about, advertising is dying and we are lacking of talent. I said it's still one of the most amazing industries where you do everything something different.
Right.
It's tough. Yes, it's tough, but it's still very, very interesting and still very inspiring.
So let's go to the buzz round. Quick questions, quick answers, and then we're wrapped up here. So chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Ah, me too.
I'm looking like chocolate, so.
Oh, this is a good one for you, and you can give several answers if you'd like. What's the most overused word in the ad game?
At the moment, I think data, big data.
Big data, right? Yeah.
But it changes every week, right?
Yeah, but that one keeps...
But you know what? We should bring out a bullshit dictionary. There's a game, there's an app for the smartphone, for Android and for phone called Bullshit Bingo.
Okay.
CEO Bullshit Bingo. I'm using it from time to time in meetings. Sitting there, and if you hear the word, then you have to say, and then after like 5 words,
you get bullshit.
Bingo.
And you're supposed to yell bullshit.
Yeah. No, but I think at the moment it's big data.
Big data,
and content marketing.
And
content marketing. And storytelling.
So I don't know, did you grow up on American TV? Because the next question is Ginger or Marianne?
Again, if you look at my background, I was born in Iran, and we had a lot of American TV, but I don't have this kind of connection to that, so I couldn't.
You were doing smart things, not wasting your time watching TV.
No, but I'm not looking at TV anymore. I don't know how it's. If I want to see something, I'm going and seeing on it.
I was going to say
on all the different platforms.
But we get what we want.
Exactly.
We don't let it wash over us like we used to.
It's crazy. I think the last time I was sitting in front of TV, it's like 4 years ago. Maybe sports. That's the only field.
But we're now.
Other than that, I'm looking it on my iPad or on my computer and all this stuff.
We're kind of in the world of destination TV. I want to watch this.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's my TV or maybe it's my iPad, and I just watch what I want to watch when I want to watch it, which is amazing. My kids don't have any concept of having to wait or be on the couch on time to see a particular show.
They don't get it, exactly.
No, I just push it, it's on. Favorite curse word?
Fuck.
It's so utilitarian.
Yeah. In English, but in German it's difficult.
Oh, those always sound good though. Do you have
in
one?
German this sounds great, but I have to think about it. In German it's tough. Maybe Scheiße, which is shit.
Which is funny. I have kids.
Scheiße,
I started
Even
editing.
Americans are using it.
I use it. Well, I when I had kids, I started editing myself, and I wanted to say, fuck, and I said farts, and I wanted to say shit, and I've been saying shite
That's
for the
it,
last 16 years.
Yeah, here we go.
My favorite as well. Favorite ad that someone else did? Kind of loaded question here in this room.
Think different.
Ah, okay.
From Lee Clow, but
yeah.
the copywriter actually, which is also very interesting, I found out that almost 80% of the copy was written by Steve Jobs himself.
Wow. I had that conversation recently. Somebody said when they talked about Think Different,
and I have it on my wall
they
here.
said Clow and Jobs. They
Yeah,
said
I think, but
specifically.
80% of it is coming from Steve Jobs, and I have it here on my wall.
We'll
Here's
take
to
a
the
look.
crazy ones.
Ah,
Not
I
because
bet.
it's coming from TBWA, but it's because I think that the Think Different notion is exactly what we should do every day. The crazy ones, the rebels,
Yeah.
challenging the status quo, changing the world. So it's a good reminder every morning. Yeah.
You said changing the world. It's amazing. I think so many of us in this business kind of
Exactly.
want to change
And
the
you know
world.
what? The Think Different campaign, he was the only guy from the advertising industry who was a testimonial in that campaign. Bill Bernbach.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Two personal passions. I don't see you as a fly fisherman so much.
No. My kids, I
Yeah.
have 4 kids with 3 different women, so that's tough. No, but in terms, okay, beside my kids, I would say chess. I'm playing chess. But I'm playing blitz chess, 3 minutes.
Wow.
And Muhammad Ali is my biggest idol and my passion.
Yeah.
I'm collecting everything since I'm 6 or 7.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he's close. He's dying. He will die in the next 2 years.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's amazing.
He made
He's
the
a great
sport. He
role
made the
model.
sport. I left the sport
Yeah.
after he and Sugar Ray Leonard.
Exactly.
And, once those guys were done, it wasn't about entertainment.
Boxing is not
you know,
boxing
wow.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Steak or tofu?
Steak.
Beer, wine, martinis, or seltzer?
Wine, martinis, not really beer.
Yeah, I've kind of
I'm
lost
not into
my...
beer, and I don't like German beers because they are tough in terms of how they taste.
Yeah,
So I'm not really into beer. I like white wine and martinis.
I like martinis.
You can
Dirty.
drink more without getting completely drunk, right?
Depends, yeah, which one. So here's an odd one. A penguin walks through the door right now, and he's wearing a sombrero. And what does he say, and why is he here?
I have to think about that one.
All right.
That's tough. What is he saying? Oh, I don't know. He's not talking.
No. Why
If
is
you
he?
look like that, you don't have to talk.
That's right. Well, then why is he here?
He wants to sell something.
That's as good as
Maybe he's an ad guy, right?
Right? He wants a job. All right. So finally, if you had a theme song, what would it be?
Something from John Coltrane or Miles Davis.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
fair.
I'm into jazz, so something like
Very
that.
complex. Very. Yeah.
Or something from the 80s, you know. As I
Oh
was
wow! Talk about 180.
Style Council, Paul Weller, stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, terrific, Amir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
this
sir.
has been
Thank you very much.
fantastic. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.